神様どうぞ語る私の口を開いてあなたの言葉を語ることができますように、またここにいる一人一人の心と耳に触れて、あなたの恵みを豊かに味わうことができますように。 Lord, open my mouth to proclaim your word. Also touch your hand to our ears and heart and feel your grace. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. どうぞお聞きください。Please be seated. Every time preparing the sermon, it is very hard for me because I want to talk a lot to you, but also I have to say in English. Also, there's a time is limited, so it is very hard to prepare the sermon. Today, please enjoy my sermon today. I put my watch here. I supposed to it is in a 10 minutes in English. I have been in Vancouver for 1.5 years. My contract is 3 years and it already half passed. I have been in. I'm very fine to be in Vancouver, and I'm used to be here. And then especially in Vancouver, I have to have spent more time with my family, like go to grocery with my wife and give a ride to my children too. In Japan, in Korea, I spend more time for my work, so it is very hard to share my time with my family. It's very hard thing for me, but little and little I'm used to be. But so its time became very short. So how time very fast, and then every time is spend time for me, for family, for church, and I have to deal with the time. And then sometimes I feel nervous because I feel I have to do this thing and this thing, but I feel that I haven't completed, so become nervous, and sometimes I couldn't see around. So sometimes I a little bit anger with my family, and then sometimes I almost my voice until here and try to shout, but at that time, at that moment, I used to be stop, do anything. It's like similar with when we ride the car on the street, and then when we hear the siren of the ambulance and then police car and fire truck, and just every car stop beside the street, it's similar. If something in my feeling happen, it's a kind of silent, and so just stop and try to listen. When I was high school, I want to become a counselor, and especially I want to be a counselor for the youth. So when I was the seminary, I took the course pastoral counseling, and before I came to Vancouver, I was studying counseling at the Grace University, but I couldn't finish. But I tried to figure out why I want to study counseling, because when I was high school age, I struggled with my mind, for life, what I have to do, or with the relation with the friend and my girlfriend and with my parents. I struggle a lot. So actually, I want to talk my struggling with someone. So there's a kind of reason I want to become a counselor, I think. But it is little shame to talk my insight to others. So I hesitate because people think they could understand or not. But it is very important. Sometimes we need a counselor, or sometimes we need someone just listen my voice. Also ourselves, like some emotional thing happen, we listen to ourselves. It is similar to love myself. If you have something struggle in your mind, please make a phone to me. I'm a QR specialist, and make appointment. So just make a phone call and make appointment, and then we will have a time. And then just I'm very good to hear, and also I'm very good to I'm very good to not saying others. So you can call me and then make appointment and then just talk to me. I'm trying to listen to your voice. Today in the gospel, one it said Palestine, who is the specialist for the law at that time, and then he came to Jesus, and said, "What must do I do to inherit eternal life?" And then Jesus told to him, "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" And then he knows about the Bible a lot, and so he said, in the Bible said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." And then Jesus said, "That's right, it's correct. Do this, and you will live." I received the word Pharisees answer to Jesus, and there's 3 points. 1, love your God with your whole body. Love yourself, and love your neighbor. How can we love our God with our being? How do you think about it? How do you think? And each one of us have an experience, and also you can say each other, it is the way to love the God. This time, my parents came from Korea, and he stayed at my home. But just now, they are in Chicago to visit my father's brother. My father was not a minister like me, and he was a teacher of the university. He was a professor, but he's very sincere man, and then very working hard, and then he has lived his life like the three things just I told you. He loved his God or his body, and then loved himself and loved neighbors. Also, my mother for me, he tried to love his God with his all thing, and also he tried to love neighbor, but she is very weak to love herself. Anyway, I asked them a question: how do you live like that? I couldn't follow their life. They live very hard. Usually, son or daughter usually say, "We cannot live like my parents." And so I just questioned, and then they said, "Oh, we passed our life already 70 years. Recently, we have known our God, and how He has guided our life. And just we have lived in grace of the Lord, so we can do what we have done." And it's very good answer for me. Gospel of St. John, chapter 17 and verse 3. Jesus talked about eternal life, means to know you, the only true God, and to know Jesus, whom you sent. It is the answer of the Jesus. Knowing about God and knowing about Jesus is also concerned with the eternal life. Today, after service, we are going to have the discussion or talking with separate group. It's my suggestion to you. After the service, it will be before the 11:30. I hope we finish the service and we gather, and then we talk first, and then for 40 minutes, or 30 or 40 minutes first, and then after we have the lunch. How about it? Is it more easier? So I hope, okay, so we from like 11, we need to go to washroom and so on, so maybe have some tea, and so probably we will start from 11:40 to 4:30 or 40 minutes to have our sharing, and then after that. And today, I wrote a theme of today is, what can you do for your church? But after that I wrote this, I feel a little bit strange. It could be what we can do for not our church, not your church, not my church. What we can do for our Lord's church, our God church. Coming September 9 and September 15, our Holy Cross Church will be 110 years anniversary. Wow, 110 years. So 110 years ago, 1903, the Larago Anglican Church member and the missionary, they started the mission in Vancouver for the Japanese. And then especially at the time, the lovely thing, they especially support to the children. There are a lot of young kids. There's Issei's kids. So they are not used to in Vancouver, and so they can, the children need to support. So, and after the war, Japanese Canadians went to the camp, but at that time, a lot of minister and the missionary went to the camp to see and support them. And then after the history, the two church sold, and when people returned to the camp and returned from Japan after 1949 in Vancouver, the church has started again. Also, 1960s, 70s, there are newcomer from Japan joined to the Holy Cross Church because of the church supported. And then after same-sex blessing, our church member, half of the church member had left. But our church is still in here. This kind of one story. A church, the member of the church had left. Half of the member of the church had left. So the church visited the bishop. I'm going to resign because of my church member was disappeared. And then the bishop said to him, still, there are half of the member still there, so don't resign and keep it continuing. And time passed. Now there are more few people at church, so he visited the bishop again. Sorry, bishop. Still there are our member of the church is leader. And then Jesus asked him, what can you find out in the Bible? And the clerk said, no, I'm not actually, I couldn't. And then bishop said, in the Bible, 2 or 3 gather in my name, I will be there. So, are there 2 or 3 gathering in my name in your church? And the clerk said, yes. Okay, keep continue. No resign and keep continue. And then after that, the minister worked very hard with the church member. And then the church grows again. It's a Japanese American church in Los Angeles long time ago. It's a real story. Love our God with all our heart, with all our being, with all my strength, with all my mind. Love you very much and love your neighbor. Before that, our God has chosen us. Our God has chosen one of us. Also, our God has built this church, includes St. Peter's, and He has loved, and He has walked, still love. We keep it in our heart, keep continuing. Through our Father and Son and Holy Spirit. いつも説教を